Hello again, and welcome to part 2 of this modular set game assets tutorial. And as you can see, I have pre-modelled some extra parts: the window frame, the door frame. I've put a window in, and a door which I can rotate along its axis there for the moment. But if you notice, the origin point is here, and that's so that if I cleared the rotation, that's Alt, Control Z, a minute, Z, just put it in there. Okay, so we'll have that there. When you set this up in game, you'll be able to put the door right in the correct place. Door frame as well, origin point is there. Same with the window frame, origin point is there, and the window origin point is there. So let's get started from where we last left off our wall sections. Let's bring this up. Okay, now this is what you should have, and what I realised last time, I did nearly 40 minutes of recording and didn't save. Noob mistake, I know, so during this one we shall save a little bit more often. Unless you are confident with your skills, but I don't really get Blender crashing on me, it's quite stable I find, so there we go. Right, we'll start doing the window frame. We'll go into front view, orthographic mode, scroll in a little bit, and we shall add a mesh cube. Go into wireframe, press G to grab the cube and just place it roughly where you want it, and as you can see it fits quite well. Now that looks a good size for me. We'll go into edit mode. We shall scale it along the Z axis, holding the control key until it gets to there. Go into top view, scale it on the Y axis, holding the control key until it gets there. And as you can see, excuse me, it lines up really good with the skirting boards. There we go. Go into object mode, and when you spin it round you'll see that your window frame is set out just nice. Not too much, not too little, just good. Okay, so we shall select the front face, the back face, turn off that manipulator a second, it's in the way. Go into front view, go into wireframe, scroll in a little bit so you can see nicely, because we need to see this little black line of our wall window. Press I for inset and just drag it in until you get to about there, just like that. Okay, looks good. This one's a little high, but the rest look fine. So we shall select everything with the A key, press G, and with your arrow keys just press down a couple of times, and then press scale on the Z axis. Oh no, now press G, down a couple of times, press enter, then press scale on the Z axis, and just with the shift key just slowly do it until you get just a little gap. Press G, move it across on the X axis, just one, press enter. That looks good. Okay, so we'll select both the faces, front and back, press X and delete those faces. Okay, go back into solid view, and I've done that wrong because I did the vertices, didn't I? Right, press X, delete the faces. There we go, that's better. Now, while we're still in edit mode, select edge, select that edge, from that angle. Control R, scroll the mouse wheel to put 2 edge loops, left click, right click, back into face select mode, alt click that edge, press X and delete faces, because we won't be seeing them, we won't need those faces. Back into edge mode, alt click that edge so you can select that loop, same on the back, press W, loop cuts, bridge, and there is our window frame. But there's still bits we need to add. So back into front view, back into edit mode, Shift A, add a mesh cube, wireframe, grab the cube, place it roughly in the center, and then scale it. So around the size you want, not too large, not too small. Okay, so turn the angle a bit. Let me just turn that camera off. Okay. Okay, so there's our little cube. So we shall, first things first, select that face and that face, press X and delete those faces because we won't be needing them. Right. L, while hovering over the cube, press scale X and bring that up. Okay, front view, scale it along the X just so it's around there. That looks good. Okay, grab it along the Y axis, no, the Z axis, sorry. Okay, place it, I don't know, around there looks good. Okay, right, press Shift D to duplicate it, right click to get out of the selection, rotate it 90 degrees, place it around there, that looks okay. Scale it along the Z axis, again just so it's inside the window frame. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Yes. Now, there's one thing more I want to do with this middle piece. As you can see at the moment, if I go into object mode, it's absolutely flush with that. You can leave it like that if you like, but I'm going to add a little bit of dimension to it. So with it still selected, you can do it as close as you want like this so you can see. Press scale Shift Z and that'll constrain it so it doesn't scale along the Z axis, and just bring it in to around there. Okay, and what that'll do, it'll just give it a little bit of definition there, and then we can add some dirt around there and everything when we texture it, so it'll look quite interesting. It gives it a little bit more interest than just being very plain. And to show that off, I shall turn on ambient occlusion. If you scroll this side panel down, just under shading, turn on ambient occlusion, turn the strength up a little bit just to give it a bit more visual, and turn the samples up a little bit to smooth it out. So if we go into object mode now, you can see it just defines our edges a little bit and gives us a little bit of more visual pleasingness so we can see what we're doing. Okay, now that window looks really good. I'm happy with that. Let's name that then. So we'll call it wall 01 window frame. Okay, so now we have to fit this onto our UV area, and to do that we should select this wall first, the window wall, and if we go into tab you can see the UVs there. Make sure you still have draw other objects selected in your view. Select the window, press no, I haven't put edge cuts in, sorry, I haven't put marked the seams. First thing we've got to do, mark the seams, otherwise we won't unwrap. Right, so we'll select alt click that edge, alt click that edge, that edge, that edge, then turn it round, shift click that edge and that edge. Oh, we'll use the bottom one, it doesn't really matter, but okay. Press Ctrl E and mark a seam. Select everything with the A key, press U and unwrap, and this is what we get. So we can move that over there now, out of the way, we don't need it, and we can have a look at our UV layout. So as you can see, if I move these out of the way, put them there a minute, we have our UVs for our window, skirting boards, everything looking fine, and now all we have to do is scale it. So we change this back to medium point, hit scale and bring it down. That should be fine. Let's just check everything's stretched okay. Yes, all nice and blue, so we don't have no awkward stretching. Looks good. Let's place these around here, leaving enough gap for bleed for our materials. Now, one thing you could do if you wanted to save texture space and be able to use more of the texture space for other stuff, you could select one of these, and with it still on vertex snap, if you grab it along the y-axis, press Ctrl, and you will see it will start snapping to the vertices, and then you could lay them on top of each other, and that would save even more texture space. It just means that this piece and this piece would share the texture. Now we're not going to do that in this tutorial because I want to add a little bit more grunge and dirt and dust to the bottom of this window where it'd lay. So I want this to be cleaner, maybe have some drips here and then some dirt and grunge on the windowsill itself on the bottom of the frame. Same with the sides. You could select one of these sides and, you know, press L, hold Control and grab it first along the X, hold Control, and you could do the same, and that would save you texture space. I think we could get away with doing that. Maybe. But if we've got grunge here and then we move up on the side, it's going to go onto the side here, and then if there's no one here, it'll look odd, so we will leave it as is. But that is one way of, you can lay these on top of each other so that whatever texture you're using, it matches. But we're not going to do that. We are going to leave it as is there, but we're going to make sure that this is the top one, and know it's the bottom, and that's the top. So we will switch them round. So shall grab that, move it up on the Y, just to there. We'll select that one, grab it on the Y, and just bring it in, leaving it enough room like that. Now we shall select that one, grab it on the Y, match it up, leaving enough texture space. Okay, looking good. Now which one is this? I think this is the one on the left. It is. So we shall keep it left. So we shall grab it, select it all with the L key first, grab it, place it around there, and then this one, select it, grab it and place it there. Okay, now this piece is our straight piece here that's going up and down. As you can see, that's the face selected. So let's go back to our UVs. Now this piece can go on the edge here. So if we select L, grab it and just place it around there, leaving us enough room. And now obviously this will be the longer piece, so we will grab that and just place it there. Lovely, that looks good. So as you can see, we're utilising the best of our texture space there, leaving still plenty of room for the door frame, which we still have to do. So last thing to do is select the window wall, Shift S, cursor to selected, select the window frame, and then on the side here in your tools tab, set origin to 3D cursor. So now when we use our manipulator, and if we grab the wall section and move it and line it up, when we place our window section and do the same, it will line up perfectly with our wall. So we'll move, and we'll move them back, and that's good. Right, now onto the door frame, which is virtually a very similar process. So we'll have to set our 3D cursor first. So select the wall, go into edit mode on edge, alt click that edge, alt click, shift alt click the next edge, press shift S, and then cursor to selected to set our cursor there. Back into front view, into object mode, shift A, add a mesh cube, let's call this wall 01 door frame. Good. Go into edit mode, wireframe, and let's set this up. So we can select that face just by selecting faces, and you see the little black dots, so you can select the side faces, and you can select front and back. Just by selecting little black dot, it will select the face. So if we select that one, scroll up to the top, and as you can see, Z says -1 on the local. That's because it's on local. So we'll set that to global. Now it says 5 centimeters. So we'll put that at 0. Now this is got to be, we wanted a 10 centimeter frame, didn't we? For the door frame, which would mean that that is a little bit off. So you got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 1 meter. So that's 1 meter 10 to the top of the frame. So to get a 10 centimeter frame, we are going to want to make it 205, which it says it is. No, 215, sorry. So we'll select that, just stick a 1 in front of the 5, and there you go. Okay. Next thing, select that face and that face. Scale it along the X, holding the control key till there. Zoom in, and then you'll see the next set of increments come. Scale along the X, holding the control key, and my increments aren't working. Why are they not working? Well, we can just grab each face and move it slow. Yeah, there we go. So there's our first one done. Grab the next face, move in, grab it along the X-axis, holding control, and there we go. This bottom face we won't need, so we'll get X and we shall delete that face. Go into top view, select them 2 faces, or all of it, it'd be easier. Zoom in a little bit. Now we're going to scale this along the Y, holding the control key till it lines up with the skirting boards. Now there is a little issue with this, which I will show you in a second. I'll show it right now actually. What will happen is, if I go back into object mode, into solid view, and our normals are the wrong way around, which might help this, but we'll fix that in a minute. If you can see, there's a little bit of discrepancy just here, and that's because that face is exactly on top of that face, which we don't want. It will cause problems in the game engine, and it'll just look awful. So first thing, let's sort these normals out. With everything selected, do Control N, and as you can see, that changed colour, and everything's looking good again. Now we'll go into top view to wireframe, so we can see clearly. Scroll right in, edit mode, scroll in as far as you can go, near enough. There we go. And then scale along the y-axis just a little, just like that. Just around there is good. So when we go back into object mode, into solid view, we now will not get that slight anomaly. Good. Now let's actually fit our door frame in. We select the front face, select the back face, go into front view, press I for inset, B for boundary. First thing, I think we better go in wireframe so we can see our door actual frame section. So we want to come in just slightly of that, or 5 centimeters of it in fact. Right, let's move this back up. Let's put this at 220. Not 220. There we go. There we are. Move that out to 15. Oh, nope. Control Z that. 6 meters 30 a minute. There we go. And that one should be 470. There. Right, this might work better now, because then we can just bring it slightly inside. We've got our 10 centimeter frame. Select the front face, shift select the back face, should have both selected, press I for inset, B for boundary select, and bring it just inside that frame. There we go. Zoom in, have a look. Yeah, that will do. That will do nicely. X, delete those faces, and we have that. Edge mode, Alt click, Shift Alt click, W, loop, bridge. Okay, so nearly done with our door frame, because a door frame isn't flat along here. You know, the door sits in, there's a little rim that does hold the door, stops it swinging both ways. So we shall put that in now. But first we need a door. We need something to gauge how the position it needs to be. So while we're in object mode, press tab to go back into object mode if you're not already in it. Shift A, let's add a cube. Go into top view, wireframe, edit mode, scale it along the Z axis, hold on, not on the Z, on the Y, sorry. Holding control, bring it to around there, zoom in, scale on the Y axis again, holding control, bringing it in to around, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 centimeters. That's about okay for a door. Okay, now let's bring it in on our other axes. Scale it on the X axis, holding control to around there, and then let's just bring it in slightly. As you can see, scale on the X, holding control. Oh, not with control on this. Just there, like that. When it's slightly in from the frame, because a door doesn't fit a frame exactly, does it? Select that face, and bring it up slightly, just to there, like so. Let's do these ones, make sure they're just not tight, because that's not what we want. That one's fine. Okay, back in solid view, and there's our door. Now we can name that as our door, we'll keep that for now. So we'll put this as wall 01 door, and we'll just leave that there for now. Go back to our door frame, go back into edit mode. Now first thing we've got to decide is which way we want our door to swing, because it's going to be important. Now I like swinging it from this angle out so that you go through a door, or you can open it towards yourself. It's your choice. Both the technique's the same for each one. Got to sort out that bottom face first. Back into wireframe, select the bottom face, put it down to 0, zoom in, excuse me, and bring it up slightly because the door will not touch the floor. There. So you may see a bit of light under it. There we go. Okay, that's fine. So, to make this door swing, we need to go into vertex mode, select the front bottom vertex there. Go Shift S, cursor to selected. And then we can set the origin point of this door in object mode to the 3D cursor, and that means it'll swing towards us, which I didn't want, so I apologise. I'll set it to the back side of it. So Shift S, cursor to selected, object mode, origin to 3D cursor. And now when we rotate our door on the Z axis, it will open as such. Okay, that's brilliant. Right, back to our door frame. Select the door frame, press Ctrl R, put in an edge loop and bring it just so you can see it, just like so. Press Ctrl R again, put another one in, and then bring that as far as you need to, maybe a bit closer to the edge there. Okay. Select the faces you want. So we want that face, that, ooh, Control Z, wrong one. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see that face and that face. We'll go in wireframe for this. We'll press extrude, and then we shall scale along the x-axis slightly. Grab that face, make sure we get the right face, and we haven't. We need that face, and bring that down slightly. Okay, there we go. That looks good. Maybe bring these in a little bit more, just a touch. Okay. Looks good. Okay, so when we select our door now, and as you can see, when we rotate along Z, it'll open, and then when it closes, it'll close to that barrier, that stopper. Okay, now before we unwrap this, there is, if I isolate it, there are two little faces that were created that we don't need, which is that one and that one. So shift select both of them, press X and delete those faces. Okay, next thing we have to do, we can do this while we're in isolation mode. This has a window, we don't need to see the inside of this edge of the door frame, so if you select that edge, Control R, scroll twice, left click, right click, face select, alt click there, X, faces. Out of isolation mode, just check it, looks good. Now we have to unwrap it, and as before, we're just going to select, alt click that edge, shift alt click that edge. Control E, mark seam, A twice to select everything, U, unwrap, and there is our door frame. Quite simple, but it will be quite effective. If you wanted to smooth it off a bit, you could do. All you have to do is select the edges there, the edges there, do Control B, and then just give it a slight, tiny little bit. In fact, I think we'll do that. It looks a little bit defined. Let's see what it was like smooth. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind that. That's fine. That looks okay. It doesn't add too much geometry and might just add a bit. You can do it to your window if you want. But you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll leave the door as is, eh? Let's see how it looks unwrapped. As you can see, it just adds to the unwrap. If we select the face of it, and there it is. And now you can see it's already been added in on either side and there as well. Okay. Okay, that looks fine. Let's just unwrap it again to make sure. Just move that around, but that's fine. Okay, so we'll select the door wall this time. Select the door frame. Go into edit mode and we can see our pieces. In fact, we can increase the selection of that to include the window frame. Then select the door frame again, go into edit mode and we can see now see our window frame pieces. So select everything with the A key, scale them down to around there. Let's put them there. I think we'll put our door in here somewhere. So I don't want to scale these too much. We're still going to need somewhere for our door. Let's grab that there. Move it over slightly. Just to give us some texture space room. Same with that one, move it over slightly. And then we still have room for our door here. Okay. Now with door, very simple. I think you could just do U unwrap on this. Or could you just use Spark UV project? Let's have a look at the stretching. Yeah, we could get away with that, I suppose. Don't have a. Yes, we still have a bottom piece on our door. I don't think we'll need that, so we'll get rid of that as well. Smart UV project. Aha. Don't want it to stretch, want an incorrect aspect ratio on that. Yeah. Okay, now let's add these to our section. Now the front and the back of the door can be pretty much the same. I don't see why not, it's a door. Just keep it very similar. I mean, you could make this door a lot more interesting, adding panelling and things like that, but we'll keep it quite plain for now. Don't want to give ourselves too much of a headache just yet, because all the texturing and that will come, and then setting up the scene in the game engine. So select our pieces, so we'll select a wall, door frame, window frame and a door. Press tab and there's our door. Select A, scale everything down, make this a little larger, grab it up, scale it up slightly, because we're going to be able to fit this in quite nicely here. Let's have a look and see if it's better rotated 90 degrees. Yes, we'll get it in there a little better. Scale it up. And we shall sit it just there. Now we'll select, that's the front panel, select the back panel, and with our vertex selected here, grab it along the Y, hold control, put it on top of it, and that way that's using the same texture space. Now the other pieces of the door, they can be rotated and scaled down a little bit, so we can rotate them 90 degrees, scale them down because they don't need to be so big. Sit one there, select that, rotate them back 90 degrees. Let's grab this. Let's see if we can fit these in here. And they too can be sat on top of each other, just like that. So we'll select everything, scale it down just a touch, grab it up on the Y. Okay, grab that down slightly, just there. Now we still have a little bit of texture space here. I'm debating whether to use that for this window piece here. I don't see why not. But it will have to be a different material. We'll have to add a material to that when we're going, before we go into Substance Painter to paint this. Yeah, we'll add that and put the window in here. Okay, it's back into object mode. Select the window frame on the wall, focus on it. Let's add a cube. Oh, first thing, let's just click left mouse to put the cursor there, Shift A, mesh cube, wireframe mode, place it in, go into top view, edit mode, scale it on the Y and bring it in, and just position it until you get it nice and only a few centimeters. Let's have a look. Yeah, that looks fine. That looks fine. Because the window isn't thick, is it? So let's scale it along the Y a little bit more, just to around there. And that's like just over a centimetre thick or something. Right. Okay, let's isolate it. And what we need to do is delete the edge faces. So if we select those faces, press X and delete those faces. Now we need to check our normals are in the correct position. So if we select our normals, you can see they're both facing opposite ways. And this will be important for light that's going to go in and out of the window, depending how we're doing the window. Oh, we'll work on that. Okay, so unisolate it, go back into edit mode, select everything, scale it on the Z, doesn't need to be that big. Grab it on the Z, let's bring it down slightly. Scale it on the X, so it's just in the frame. And there's our window. Now we just want to unwrap this, which is basically it's just two planes. It can be exactly the same texture. Select our window frame, select our wall, select our door frame, select our door, select our window last. Tab, U, unwrap. And as you can see, there's our window. So we can put this one on top of the other one. So if we grab it, hold control, select that, A to select everything, scale it down, and then let's sit it in our space. Scale it down, maybe rotate it 90 degrees. And there we go. So, as you can see from our UV space there, move this out of the way. Select everything except the light, of course. Let's delete the light a minute, or just hide it. Alright, if we select everything and then just press select everything and then press tab, you'll see everything now sits in that space nicely. Everything that is in this scene here, each modular piece will use this one texture piece, which is really good. That's what we want. So everything that's on this map will texture all of the items here, so that when we build our modular scene, we can build corridors and stuff. Okay, well, thank you for listening, and I hope to see you soon in the next video. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see some more tutorials. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.